Hello, friends. Thanks for joining me today. I want you to think about the beauty of rain. Think about what water does for us. Well, we know it refills our streams, our lakes, our rivers, our oceans, right? Of course, it provides us with drinking water. We need that to survive. It provides plants and trees with the moisture that they need to produce their own food. Rain is absolutely amazing. It is even so amazing that it provides us with water that even shapes the land upon which we live, that erosion taking place to make amazing landforms. So, of course, sometimes when we go out in the rain, it can be a little bit annoying, right? But it's really necessary. And today I want to share with you a story about a person who hated going out in the rain. And his name was Jonas Hanway. And he decided that he was going to find a solution. So let's see what his solution is all about. And this is called, oh, before I tell you what it's called, look at Oliver. Isn't he something else? I was taking pictures for the slides for our story, and Oliver was sitting so adorably. I had to take a picture of him. But our story is actually called Jonas Hanway's Scurrilous, Scandalous, Shockingly Sensational Umbrella. This is by Josh Crute, and it's illustrated by Eileen Ryan Ewan. London was a rainy place, no matter which way you said it. On some days it drizzled, on others it mizzled, on others it pelted and showered and spat. When that happened, the only options were to stay indoors, travel by coach, or just get wet. By 1750, the people had gotten used to it. It's just what we do, they said. Jonas Hanway did not agree. He was a grumpy man who disliked change as a rule. When something became popular that he didn't like, he was never quiet about it. But there was one thing that Jonas liked less than change. It was getting wet. On rainy days, he would pull on his thickest boots, button up his sturdiest coat, and throw on his largest hat. Yet no matter how fast he walked or which route he took, when he arrived at his destination, his socks were soggy, his shirt was soaked, and his wig looked like a wet cat. This simply won't do, he said. So he left London and traveled the world searching for a place where it never rained. Where does he end up? Until he came to Persia. And there in the court of the Shah, he saw something strange. It was scurrilous, scandalous, shockingly sensational. Or was it? In reality, it wasn't so strange. Umbrellas were ancient. They could be found in cities all over the world, but not in London. The people of London thought they were silly and foreign and frilly. It's not what we do, they said. Jonas Hanway did not agree. So on one particular mizzling, drizzling, pelting, showering, spitting day, a scurrilous, scandalous, shockingly sensational thing happened. Jonas Hanway stepped out of his house on Queen's Square with an umbrella. Ladies gasped, gentlemen frowned, children giggled and said, "Mom, what is that?" But when Jonas got to his destination, his socks were warm, his shirt was dry, and his wig looked like a fluffy cloud. "This will do," he said. He began to carry his umbrella everywhere. Whenever he passed, people would laugh and say, "There goes that mad Jonas Hanway." Hanway, I should say. But the coach drivers were not laughing. This simply won't do, they said. If everyone carried umbrellas, then who would need their coaches when it rained? So they jeered Jonas. They threw rubbish, which is garbage, at him. One even tried to run him over. But they could not stop Jonas. He carried that umbrella for 30 years until one day, a scurrilous, scandalous, shockingly sensational thing happened that surprised even Jonas. Another umbrella popped up on the street, and then another, and another. Soon umbrellas were everywhere, dotting the city from Greenwich Park to Hampstead Heath. Today, London is still a rainy place, no matter which way you say it. On some days it tipples, on others it dripples, on others it plothers and lutters and chucks. But thanks to Jonas Hanway and his sensational umbrella, the people of London stay dry. It's just what we do, they say. And this talks about, so cool. The author talks to us about like, why would like this be so scandalous? And scandalous means like shocking and crazy. And the author writes to us, it may seem silly to us, but in 1750, it was considered unthinkable for an English gentleman like Jonas Hanway to carry an umbrella. Why? The answer lies in the phrase English gentleman. Jonas was a man, and umbrellas were thought to be for women. Jonas was also a gentleman, which meant he had money. Umbrellas were thought to be for people who were too poor to afford a coach or a coach fare. And most important, Jonas was English, and umbrellas were popular in France, a country that the English did not get along with. So I want you, and then it talks about how Jonas Hanway was like really, he was somebody who was really always disgruntled at things. And one thing that he was disgruntled with was tea. And he didn't think it was a good thing to drink. He thought it was a waste of money and a destroyer of health. So his letter is still, you can still visit it if you go to Twiney's, which is the oldest tea shop in London, which is pretty funny. And actually, Jonas, he spoke out against things that weren't frivolous, though, like child labor as well. But also they give you here a brief history of umbrellas. And it's so cool to think that all the way back in the 2000s to the 1500s in BC, parasols are used by nobility in Egypt. So Egyptians used them to shade noble people, right? All the pharaohs from the sun. And that was a long time ago. And waterproof umbrellas were used by nobility in China before. And then you get all the way to like the 1750, when Jonas Hanway starts shocking London with using umbrellas. And let's see, in 1852, the British industrialist Samuel Fox invents the modern steel-ribbed umbrella. And in 1865, the African-American inventor William C. Carter invents the umbrella stand, right? We might take these things for granted. When you go to a restaurant or something, they might have an umbrella stand that you can put your umbrella in. Well, I didn't know that William C. Carter invented that in 1865. And then it goes on to talk about how Winnie the Pooh in 1926 flipped over an umbrella and he used it as a boat in Winnie the Pooh. I love that. So, and then in 1997, if you know that cool movie Harry Potter, or you know the books, Hagrid used an umbrella to give Dudley Dursley a pig's tail in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in 1997. That was the original, one of the original stories, Harry Potter stories. So friends, you know, umbrellas seem to be just a simple tool, but actually they're quite amazing. And I hope that you see, oh, I forgot. Let me share my screen with you one more time because hopefully you can get onto this site or it can be shared with you, which is so cool. This is a site from Canada and it talks about inventions that make your life easier. So like this toothbrush, you put it on your teeth like a retainer. It's so cool. And it actually brushes your teeth for you. So there's some cool inventions there. And I want you to think about if you could invent something new, what would it be? What would your invention be like? Would it be something like, oh, something can tie your shoelaces for you? Like, what would your invention be? Or you could mow the lawn in 2 seconds flat. So many things. Like, what would you invent to make your life easier? So that's all from that for now. And friends, as usual, happy reading. And I can't wait to see you again soon. Take care.